And welcome to episode 65 of Ripping the Rack podcast, the longest running reigning champion of podcasts of Candlepin Bowling in the podcast world. And
Wow.
Calvin, you're moving, buddy. It's not working.
You
Sorry,
need
your
to
TV in the
stop.
background. Your TV is going in the background, Calvin.
Yeah, so it doesn't work, Calvin.
It
The
does.
TV's moving. We can see the
Oh,
channels changing
God.
in the
The
background.
show is totally off the rails already. So welcome to another thrilling edition of Ripping the Rack podcast. I am one of your multiple hosts, multiple personality hosts. Calvin, it's still doing it in the background. It's not working,
Yeah,
buddy.
it's still changing.
Tim, and with me today, we are short a man. Marky is on vacation, enjoying some wonderful time with his family. I'm going to keep going like this to see how long Calvin can hold that pose, because have it quiet, Calvin.
For those listening, Calvin was trying to do the mannequin challenge, apparently, from TikTok.
And you know what, though? Have it quiet, Calvin was fantastic.
I'll sit here and be quiet. I have no problem with that. Don't you worry about me. I'll just listen. You guys enjoy. I'm going to have a nap.
With me today, on my left, is the King of the North, Mr. Calvin Locke, who, looking pretty in his beard, he's giving us the peace sign. On my right is Mr. Brian Athern, back from vacation.
What is going on, Timmy?
How you doing, buddy? How was your vacation?
Calvin, it was very good.
Good.
Very good. We spent a week at the Coastal Compound Lake up in down East Maine. Brought the dogs, the kid. We spent a week out there with some family and sharing a small 2-bedroom cabin with my in-laws for a week. That's not vacation, Tim.
No.
It was not. You know what? I let the my wife's family, because my sister-in-law was here with her son, and they don't get to see them that often. So I let the entire family go do a lot of things together, and I hung out with the dogs by myself because I'm that night. I was just letting my wife enjoy her vacation with her family and relive the good times at the cabin, and I just hung out with the dogs.
Okay, which you kind of enjoy doing anyway.
Exactly. We all have our own vacations of what we like.
Yes. Calvin, how you doing, buddy? You can talk. It's okay now.
It's okay, bud.
No, I don't want to talk. You guys don't want to listen to me. You're just rude.
Now he's going to pout.
But can we all agree that the Habs suck? See, now he's frozen.
That's
there it is.
No,
there.
Oh,
and he's
you're
back.
frozen.
Yeah, he legitimately froze.
I didn't.
You did.
No.
But anyway, let's not delve into the pettiness of who froze and who didn't freeze. Right. Brian and I already had our petty argument for the week.
It's like
about gas prices.
Women fight. Oh God, it was terrible.
Let's talk about petty arguments in the game of Candlepin bowling, Tim.
Yes.
Let's do that. Let's talk about that. So let me dive into.
I didn't know this was going to be a topic. I thought it was a segue. Okay, Calvin, go ahead.
New topic. Go ahead, Calvin.
Do you guys? And mostly it's because it's really an American thing. Do you guys honestly believe that lobbing makes a difference in your bowling?
Yes.
That lobbing makes a difference?
Yes.
It does make a difference. Absolutely, 100% makes a difference.
Okay, and why?
Because it's a lot easier to hit the head pin when you only got to navigate about 45 feet of the lane.
Honestly, that's the biggest reason is if I'm setting the ball down, call it by the foul line, okay, within the appropriate area.
Right.
Then my ball has to navigate 55 to 60 feet, right?
Right.
If you lob it out there,
right,
say 15 feet,
okay,
then your ball only has to navigate 40 feet. So it has less friction and it's not gripping as much. So you can throw it harder and you can throw it wherever the hell you want.
Okay.
Okay. So absolutely 100% lobbing does have an impact. Now, does it have a huge impact of a 5-pin per string average. Nah, I don't think it's that much.
Okay.
But I do believe that it does have lobbing the ball. I believe does have an impact. Plus the fact that it's a fucking rule. Like, roll the goddamn ball. Don't throw it. Roll it.
Now, let's say that this is just a. Let's say it's a person like you, Tim, who you say you roll the ball all the time, and you have, say, a lob. Do you think you should be penalized for that? First of all, that's the first question. You can answer that one.
I think you should get a warning.
In all the tournaments that I bowled in, youth tournament, adult tournaments, until fairly recently, like the state tournaments always had a referee.
Mm-hmm.
You lob the ball, you get a warning. You lob it again, you take pins away. You lob it again, you get thrown out.
Yeah.
Like they will literally, it's number one, it's a rule of candlepin bowling.
Yeah.
It's also terrible for the lanes.
Yes, that's another thing is the candlepin ball does actually more damage with a lob than a 10-pin ball does on a 10-pin lane. And I say and I say that because I've actually had proprietors show me the difference.
Yes. No, for sure.
So those that consistently lob the ball are damaging the damn equipment.
Which, when you start to get divots in where they land, guys like us that lay the ball down, now we got to roll over those divots. Which, you get enough of them, and it's going to start changing your ball, your ball path.
Okay. So then, part 2 of that question: do you think that you have? I guess you guys are saying that somebody, it's not going to make much of a difference. But do you really think that you have more control when you lob a ball versus when you roll a ball?
Yes. And I say that because I personally know of a person that has a 200 string no, it should not have happened, right, Tim? And the only way they hit the head pin that many times is because they lob it that far.
Easy there. You're talking about my family.
No, that wasn't who I was thinking of. I'm sorry, that's not who I was thinking of.
Who were you thinking of? I don't know who you
at
were
Oakland
thinking
Park.
I didn't know he had a 200.
Emerson? Yeah, Emerson has a 200 string.
Yeah. Guy local bowler throws it. I bet he legitimately lobs it 75% of the time he's over the foul line. And it's disgusting to watch. It really is. I am a proponent of following the rules as they're written when it comes to candlepin bowling. That means you wait for rolling wood to stop. That means you don't lob the damn ball and you stay behind the foul line. It's pretty freaking simple to do.
It's nice if someone wants to go bowler on the right. It doesn't necessarily have to, as long as you don't go at the same time somebody else goes.
I could care less who goes first, as long as when two bowlers are ready to go at the same time, the bowler on the right has the right of way.
Do I prefer the bowler on the right to go first, the last two boxes, if I'm on the left? Yes. But
so, Calvin, you look like you have an opinion.
No, I'm just intrigued. I don't.
You feel this is a very American issue, don't you? The lobbing.
Yes, I do. I feel it's a very American issue, and I know that yes, lobbing is a big thing, but I know a lot of Americans who don't follow certain rules and don't seem to acknowledge them. But when a Canadian lobs the ball, it's like the end of the freaking world. And
well, let me ask you a question. You don't be vague.
Yeah.
What rule are you saying?
Give us examples of rules that
foot fouls.
I'm a huge proponent of following that rule.
Turn the lights on.
Turn the damn lights on.
Yeah. But then you run into issues like we did at the Mixed Worlds that year, which I don't know who thought that those 4 or 5 people that were on the grievance committee made the right decision, but it was definitely the wrong decision.
I don't know.
You don't remember what happened?
No.
So Bangor, because when we did the Mixed Worlds there, the 2019, the one that we won.
Yeah.
What was it? Saturday morning, they turned on the lights.
Yeah.
After we had already bowled Friday. And they turned on the lights Saturday and said it was okay. And then they said, oh, because everybody has the lights on now, it should be okay. And then lanes 20, the lanes that you guys were on, lanes like 23 and 24 weren't working. And you guys were like, oh, just because it's there and it's the same 2 lanes for them, then we can leave all the other lights on. You don't remember that?
I know.
Oh,
honestly, I know nothing about that. And here's my take on that. And because I've bowled in enough tournaments where that has happened, where a set of lanes, the foul lights, and I've seen it happen where they just shut the lights off for the entire center and said, okay, they're not working here, so therefore, Brian froze.
Oh, I think he legit did.
Yeah.
I can't see him anymore. That's all right. Keep going. He'll figure it out eventually, I'm sure.
Well, hold on. Okay. Let me get back to that. So I've been there where
he looks a lot cuter that way. Oh, he left.
So okay. Set of lanes, the lights malfunction.
Right.
I have seen it where tournaments will say, okay, the lights have malfunctioned. We're jumping back, we're getting rid of the lights for everything.
Right. Yes.
And
I know where you're going. Yeah.
Yep. And I'm okay with that. If they're malfunctioned for one set,
right,
I'm okay with shutting them off. Right. I've also been in tournaments where they said, okay, lanes, whatever, 3 and 4, the lights are malfunctioning. We're going to leave it up to the captains of those 2 lanes to call foot fouls or give warnings or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been there. And I've also been there where they said, okay, those 2 lanes, there's no foot fouls.
Right, which is wrong.
Which is wrong. If you're not, hey, buddy.
I made it back. I don't know what happened. I was like, bah! So what happened? So what did I miss?
It must have been Brian the whole time.
Hold on, wait. My computer's restarting still. This is bad.
No, we can still see you. We're good.
All right, okay.
Tim,
there we go.
You just missed 5 minutes of Tim stuttering and staring at you with love in his eyes. So
I did.
Yeah.
Okay, so normal show stuff. Gotcha.
Calvin, I will tell you my personal opinion. If a set of lanes malfunctions from a foul light standpoint,
right,
and they can't fix it in a reasonable amount of time, meaning, if they say, look, it's electronic issue, it's going to take 6 hours for us to fix,
peel everything away, and
then okay, no foul lights. I'm okay with that.
Right.
That's what it should be. I'm also
it should be. Yes.
I'm very much okay with captains calling fouls in a team event.
Right.
As long as it's done appropriately, meaning if I foot foul and the lights aren't on, and Calvin, you're the captain of the opposing team, and you're like, hey, look, Tim, you fouled on that one. Consider this your warning, and you move on.
Right.
And then if I foul again because the lights aren't working, then you call it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I would agree. That'd be my stance as well. If the equipment's not working.
But I honestly, I do not remember.
So we have the technology now in the finals of the Worlds with the way we do podcasts and live streaming now.
Video replay.
We could have a camera on the foul line.
Yeah.
Literally on the foul line to just watch feet.
Right. The only
we could be like, that's foul. Like you have video evidence.
Right. The only problem with that is we'd have to have the technology to pause, because you don't really have that unless you have a program, right? Because Facebook
Right, unless you
Live,
have somebody-
Facebook Live
right.
won't allow you to do it.
Unless you had one particular person that was just streaming the foul line, one particular account. Like, you know, the master streams just a group thing.
Yeah.
And you had the foul line, and
Yeah.
that's what you would have, a group of officials like they have, you know, like New York for baseball or whatever. And they're just watching that particular feed, like, that's a foul, and they just hit like a button. Like, that's the new foul line.
True. Yeah.
So I have
Lob line as well. You
have
could do the same thing.
Yeah, I have often, I've said this before, and I've thought of this, is if I ever won, like, you know, Powerball or Mega Millions here in the States, it's, you know, $200-300 million.
Yes.
I've always thought how cool it would be to create my own center where, if it's 20 lanes or 24 lanes, whatever it is, where each foul line had video,
like a camera shot. Yeah.
like a camera shot,
Yeah.
and there was a camera down back,
Like looking at you and all that stuff. Yeah.
Almost like a sky caddy, like
Almost
when
like
you golf.
yeah, I don't
that,
know,
like,
but
it like has your impact points, and it measures, like, it takes a picture almost of where your club is at impact, and
I don't know,
so you
something
see that the
like
foul
that,
line,
or
like,
I think in Japan they actually have that, and they have that for like 10-pin bowling, where it shows, you know, if you watch the 10-pin bowling, like when they do the TSN and ESPN
Yep.
stuff, they
Yep.
show you the ball tracker. Well, I think
Yep.
in Asia or whatever, like usually in Japan or Tokyo, they actually have one where it has the sensor and it shows you as it's going.
oh, that's
Like-
cool.
Like the lanes are legit like sensors, and it shows you the track
Yep.
as it's going.
So
I think that's be something I would want, is like that.
Yeah,
and
to
then
know
you
how
have-
your ball's going.
Yeah, to know how your ball's going and have the camera pointed down so you can see the pin reactions.
that's
that's
what
my
I
thing.
want.
Or
That's
imagine,
what I want.
I
imagine
love
if you could have it
replay.
light up and you could say, like, last ball. So, like, here in the Worlds, you get up and they know it's your turn. You hit last ball, and if you threw a strike, it shows you the path of your last ball. So you're like, all right, I got to lay it down there. Perfect.
No, well, they
That'd
have
be-
that technology with 10-pin, like
Mhm.
on the
Yeah.
on ESPN and
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
I
I'm
love the
talking
idea.
about, like, it showing up on the lane, like you hit a button and it, like, illuminates your last
Yeah,
ball
it lights
path.
up. It lights up.
I love the idea of having the pin cam. So
Mhm.
Yeah, me too.
and they've had it, and I'm trying to remember. There was a place here in the States, in Massachusetts, I think it was, that had that, and they would have to turn it off for tournaments because you had the display at the scorer's table.
Mhm.
So you
Okay.
could actually stop and look and say, "Oh, so that's how the wood is angled."
Yeah, so I can play it that way. Yeah.
I
But then that's also deceptive. That's also deceptive because you could be like, oh, that's actually a lot closer than I think, but not. And then when you throw the ball, you're like, oh, what the hell?
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love the pin cam.
I do too.
I love
always
that
loved-
idea.
I always loved watching Irby's videos because he'd do the replays of the shot you made or
Yes.
the strike you threw, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, like I love watching how it went and how I made it.
Yep.
Like, that was a lot of fun.
I love that idea. I think that would be so cool. And if I ever won that type of money, it could put truly, $1 or $2 million into a center and not worry about whether or not I'm making fucking whatever it is.
yeah.
I personally would probably do something like that. And again, I had the thought, I'm like, how cool would it be to, if you won that much money, to take $100,000
Yeah.
and be like, we're having a tournament,
Right.
and the winning
I know.
team gets $50,000,
Yeah.
and you can only have 6 guys. You can't have 10
Yeah.
10 guys.
No, I know. Yeah. No,
You know-
honestly, I've said that too, and I've said that a long time ago. I was like, if I ever won the lottery, I already said this like to a whole bunch of people. I legit would probably take $250,000.
Yep.
Put it at the Worlds and say, you bring your best team. I don't even care. $250,000, and you split that up between like 6 or 7 teams.
Mhm.
Or even pay every spot, and you're just like, last place guaranteed $5,000, and then you just pay every
You know
spot.
what? I think that would be a cool. I think that would be a cool idea.
Yeah.
So you're not necessarily.
Have a qualifier for it so you can get, like, the best teams.
Yes, absolutely.
Like,
have
you got to win a
qualifiers,
regional, something like
1,000%.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
have
So
to
you're
win a-
you're 24th team or 20th team or whatever gets, I don't know, gets, $3
grand a piece.
Get something.
Like,
get
like
something.
even if they have 6 guys, if you have guaranteed like 6 guys is all you can use, then like last place gets $1,000 a piece.
Yeah. And first place is guaranteed, I don't know, $75,000. Something like that. $10,000 or $15,000. I don't know. Yeah. I think that would be so freaking cool.
Oh, it'd be so fun. It'd be so like you'd want to win the money, but you wouldn't have a care because in your head you're like, I'm going home with $1,000 today. I don't care.
Yeah.
Right.
But I've made my money back. But holy shit, could you imagine? I mean, I look at these guys on like the PBA, and you see them, and they're not going for Major League Baseball type money, millions of dollars.
But $100,000 for first place.
You win $100,000, like $150,000 at a turn. Yeah. I couldn't fathom standing up there going, I need a mark.
Yeah.
I'm in the 10th box. I need a mark with a big fill, and I'm going to win $150,000.
Yeah.
I'd be shitting my pants.
on ESPN.
P spots would be down the front of my pants.
And honestly, that's why, and I mean, I know there's been a lot of them, but that's why, like, Pete Weber is probably the greatest bowler of all time. Because watching him go for that U.S. Open, his 5th title, like you know who you are, I am. Like,
who do you think you are? I am. I mean, just
he needs to throw a strike in the final box to win by 1 pin of his 5th U.S. Open, and he just steps up and just like, no, I'd be like you. My legs would be numb.
Oh my
I'd
God.
be like,
I'd be yellow legs. Look, I can almost every tournament that I've been in where I've had a chance to win. I don't care if it's a best box or the world's. That ball in the 10th box feels a little bit lighter.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah.
And it's because of the adrenaline.
Yeah.
And again, I don't care if it's a small tournament or the biggest that we have.
Exactly.
That to me keeps me bowling.
Yeah.
So, before we go into some questions, I did want to bring up.
I was gonna have the best segue too.
All right.
I was gonna have the best segue, but that's okay. Let's go tournaments.
Sorry, buddy. I'll let you segue. We'll go back into it, and then you can segue to whatever it is you want to segue.
Segue.
Yeah. Segue.
And bear with me one moment because I am I'm fighting a losing battle again with kidney stones.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, both sides this time.
All right. Let's hope you don't wind up in the ER again.
I don't know.
Because now it's under construction. So
I've had 5 of them. So this would just be another trip to the ER for kidney stones.
Two birds with one stone.
So we have some tournaments coming up. Coming up the end of the month, July, August. I turned 50 and all of a sudden I just forget shit.
Yeah, what it is.
What is it? August 28th and 29th or whatever the last weekend of the month. At 1710 Bowling Center in lovely Augusta, Maine. The International Mixed Doubles or the National Mixed Doubles or whatever it is for this year. Right now they currently have 24 teams, which is great. Would love to see that try to get up to 32 teams. That's 8 more teams, folks, for those that can't math. That would be kind of cool.
Tim.
That's 16 bowlers, just so you know.
Reach out to Mike and Leanne at the Bowling Center or reach out to Mona Lamar on Facebook. Sign yourself up. Get a partner. Come have some fun. This is a Saturday, Sunday tournament for people that have asked. You start bowling Saturday morning. You bowl until Saturday, late afternoon, early evening. Then you come back Sunday morning. You bowl 5 or 6 strings. Then you go into the playoffs. So it's a fun tournament.
It is very much so.
Yep. We have Pro Series stuff coming up. So for those of you that actually tuned in to listen to Freshie, if you couldn't just hear him talk anyway.
Sorry, I was on vacation.
Well, you must have heard him anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through my headphones that I was listening to way up in down east, I could be like, "What's that?" Use your
Yes.
You get the
Yes.
Freshie laugh.
Pro Series, Portsmouth, first one September 11th, Saturday, September 11th. That is a doubles knockout. As of right now, they have shifts at noon and 2. The 2 o'clock is full. The noon, if they fill that, they will add a 10 a.m. shift. Reach out to Freshie. You can find the Pro Series, Candlepin Pro Series on Facebook. You can find them on Candlepin Chat, whatever you want to, just reach out, sign up. Next one after that would be October 17th at Spare Time. That's a singles knockout. Then Central Park Lanes in November, 10-stringer event. January 8th is Exeter Lanes for random draw teams. Leda Lanes, February 5th for a doubles elimination. Millis, March 5th will be a singles elimination. And then Webster Timber Lanes on April 2nd will be the playoffs. Playoffs.
Talking playoffs.
Playoffs.
So reach out to Freshie or Nick Zufflato. Sorry. For those of you that
Nobody cares. He's short and stupid. Nobody cares.
There is that. Outrun the Bear in Millis on September 24th. They are still looking for some bowlers. Last check, they had 60-something signed up so far, which is good.
Wow, that's a lot.
They have guaranteed, I think it's guaranteed 1,500 right now for winning. That is a singles event. That is a scratch event. I think it starts at like 9 a.m. or I think.
It's an early morning, Tim.
It is an early morning. Either A, we're getting our asses up really early and driving down, or I don't know what. We'll figure something out.
We'll figure it out.
But I have signed up. I know Brian has signed up. There's a few other folks, obviously, that have signed up. Reach out to Jeremy Seaholm, Danny Finn. Contact Ryan's Family Amusement in Millis, Massachusetts, for more information. And the last one, thy last one.
In America.
In America.
Thy last one in America.
Thy last one that I have.
There's a 20-stringer at Leda, too.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jesus.
Yeah.
Thank you. Leda Lanes, Saturday, August 21st. Leda Lanes will be having their third leg of the Triple Crown, or whatever they're calling it. Triple Crown Series, triple something.
I believe so, yes.
That is a 20-stringer on Saturday, April. Jesus. August.
God, you're bad.
Well, no, you're thinking April, Easter, 20-stringer, Leda. It all makes sense.
Sure.
Yes.
Good cover.
Wow.
Prevagen, Tim.
Oh, my God. I need something. Crack. I don't know. Something. So reach out to Leda Lanes. You can find them on Facebook. You can reach out to Alexis. Reach out to her on Facebook. Sign up. It's on Candlepin Chat. It's all over the place. Again, that's coming up on August 21st. That should be
and Daly and Beauvais both have free entry, correct? Because they won the first two legs.
Daily.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Only the last one wins the entry.
Yeah. Beauvais's free entry was into the last one.
Oh, okay. All right.
They don't have free entry to everything yet.
Yeah.
Just to the last one.
Yeah. So that is coming up. And the last one in America, in America, Freshie has announced his next NECO, New England Knockout, singles event. That will start, if I'm not mistaken, September 19th, I believe. I will read it here. It is $100 to get in. The format will be head-to-head singles, 5-string matches, bowlers to decide on the location of their match. Freshie said he will help pick a place if there's difficulty finding common ground. The winner moves on to the next part of the bracket. The loser will be responsible for the cost of bowling for their match, which I kind of like. I think that's kind of a,
another incentive.
Well, it is, because you got to figure if you win all the way through, and you got to pay for your bowling. Let's call it 5 strings. Let's call it $3 a string for easy math. $15. You're paying what? 30, 60, another $60 to $90.
Yeah.
On top of the 100 that you already paid. That's coming out of your winnings.
Yeah.
So, I like the idea of the loser pays for the bowling. Just kind of, it's what we used to do up here when we did our knockout tournaments, $100 knockout tournaments. Matches will start September 19th, and bowlers will have 2 weeks to finish their match. If you'd like to sign up, reach out to Fresher. You can message him, text him, call him. Payments are accepted through Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, or cash. Bracket will be drawn 2 weeks before matches begin, or if we fill it up and the money is in. Let's see. They can do the tournament with 32, 48, or 64 bowlers. Anything more than 64 will result in a wait list.
Right.
So, and as of right
some
now,
good matches out of that.
Well, as of in the first day, they've had 20 sign up so far.
That's pretty good.
Not bad. So,
yeah, that's good.
That's what I got for down here. Calvin, what do you got?
In Canada, we have the first tournament of the year coming up. It's the New Glasgow or Heather Bowling Center's the New Glasgow Open. Mixed tournament. Has to have 3 guys and 2 girls in your lineup at all times. Okay. 14 teams are already signed up. We are full. You can have wait lists though, so put your team in if you want, because perhaps we'll be in phase 5 and they can open up more lanes and maybe a couple teams can join in off the wait list. So we have all 14 teams signed up. It is full, and then should be good to go. But if you don't have your deposit paid, pay that to Jess Bain, and her email is on the Nova Scotia Candlepin website and on Facebook, and then you can send your money and have your spot guaranteed. That's about it. I mean, we do have a long list, but I'm not going to go through them like Tim, because it just gets tedious when we do it every week. So I'm just going to do it one tournament at a time, and we'll get the flow going.
Well, and we will, and I'm looking at, we've got 4 good-sized tournaments in the next month, hence the reason why I list all 4.
No, I know.
So, because we're dirty
Are you
dirty
guys
American.
getting leagues starting back up, Calvin?
To be honest, I have not heard anything, because I have not been putting any thought into getting back into leagues. But I believe Dieppe will have their leagues all going. I'm not 100% sure on what their status is on leagues with the whole new restrictions, no restrictions, whatever they got going. I know that Riverview I don't think that their renovations are done yet. I'm not 100% sure on that. Nobody's heard anything from the new owners. Nobody said anything, but maybe. I have no idea. And Fairlanes, I believe, has posted officially they are reopening September 1st. So they will start. Yeah. So they will start their leagues whenever they get started.
So did I
Maybe
see...
we can get over for February, Timmy, for the 560.
Did I see a snap that you were bowling somewhere, Calvin?
Maybe.
Okay.
That's on a hush hush basis.
Oh no. Well, I was going to ask, so I'm glad to see they're hopefully opening back up, within the next 3 or 4 weeks. That's cool. They've been closed a long time, and I'm ready to get up there.
Yeah, we did since whatever, who cares? We did a little lane testing, as you would say, because they hadn't been used in 2 years. So we kind of went up and just threw, and I was actually really excited because even though it was, not open, there was actually people knocking on the door wanting to bowl.
Wow.
Yeah, the lights were on because we had them all on because we were there bowling, and they were people knocking at the door. They wanted to come in and bowl. So
That's
I'm
cool.
actually excited about that people are getting excited.
Yeah.
I guess wanting to go to the bowling alley. I'm happy about that.
Yeah. And we need to get up there because
Well, you
The border's
can
open.
now. You can now. Double vaccinated people with just a little shot of your blood in a vial and a few personal information like the name of your firstborn, and you're good to go.
what is the PCR test? That's not the one in the nose, is it?
I have
Like
no idea.
The test, Brian?
Yeah,
The
no,
COVID?
that's
The COVID
that's the
test?
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to
that's-
go
they
in your
want-
nose and into the back
yeah,
of
they
your
don't
throat.
want the swab. They want the one that goes all the way up into your nasal cavity.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So you
Awesome.
have to provide a negative test like 72 hours before you leave.
Yeah.
And
You have to put it all
provide-
through the app, the new
Yeah.
Travel Can app.
Oh, it was like
Travel
app,
Can.
Yeah, Travel
Yeah.
Can.
You guys have to have approved Canadian vaccines, and it's just whatever. Come on up. I don't care. You can isolate at my house.
Well, either way, we're getting closer to being able to get up there for tournaments, so
Yeah.
which is good.
Timmy, maybe we could make a big bubble and drive up in it. We'll just pull up to the border and it'd be like, we haven't touched anybody.
We're
Yeah,
in a
exactly.
bubble.
We're a bubble with each other. You'll just have to fill up in Holton, and then you'll have to sanitize your car down, and I'll go fill it up when you get to Moncton, and then when you get back to Holton, you can just fill it back up again.
Maybe we could just like make it like how they do the windshields in NASCAR, where they just rip off a sheet. Maybe we just rip a whole thing of like cellophane off the car every time we stop to get gas. It's like a big rubber glove.
Oh my God, this cat's gonna be the death of me.
It's all right. We're near the end of the show. It's all right. No big deal.
So what do we got for letters, Cal? Oh my God, don't hit that button. She almost,
That's what I said. We're near the end of the show. Haven't we been talking about over an hour now?
No, it's 38 minutes.
What? That's crazy.
Well,
The
because
show
we
is. We've been on the
because we
call for
talked
over
to
an
Calvin.
hour.
We taught you started the call like an hour before because you were bored.
Oh yeah, that's true. I did.
I was just getting ready to put Colin to bed, and I'm like, why are they calling?
I was bored. I was all done. I said, "Oh, I'll sit here. I'm bored."
So, Calvin, what do you have any questions? Do you have any lock letters?
We have one. I think. Just let me find it because I want to make sure it's worded properly. So, my nice segue into our conversations about money and what we would do to lanes.
Look at my butthole. Ow! Ow!
Ah, you bit me.
Ah,
Play with his butthole.
That's what happens to me.
That's you suck.
That's karma.
Karma right there. You play with his butthole, he's gonna bite your finger.
Oh my God, cat. Sorry, keep going, Calvin.
So, the question we have is, what would it take, in your opinion, to make Candlepin bowling great again?
Bring Donald Trump back? I don't know.
Yes, that would bring Donald Trump into the. He could run our finances, probably.
Kitty. God damn, this cat's on attack mode. Brian, you can.
This is gonna sound really weird, but more tournaments. I think if you have more I don't want to say higher profile tournaments, but I don't know. I think you need. I think
he showed his butthole to people.
It's almost. Jesus, Tim. It's almost one of those Field of Dream things, like if you build it, they will come type of thing. So like if you have the tournaments and they're worth bowling in, the good bowlers will show up, and then maybe other people will show up. You got to have a draw.
Yeah.
There's a reason that people don't bowl leagues all year, but they bowl the worlds. or there's a reason people gear up for these, the 560s and these once a year tournaments. It's like, what is it? They're a lot of fun. How do we duplicate that and make it happen more often?
Yeah.
The problem isn't bowling. The problem isn't the sport. The problem is work life. Everything's expensive now, and nobody has free time.
Right. Yeah, I think, yeah, you're right. I think we need to get sponsors back interested in Candlepin bowling. We need to find a way to make sponsors interested in. Tim, I've muted you because you were annoying. So if you want to talk, you'll have to unmute yourself.
Thank you, Calvin, for muting me.
Yeah, we need to get sponsors back. Like, back in the day here in Canada or New Brunswick or whatever, we had the Belvedere Championship. So it was sponsored by Belvedere cigarettes and stuff like that. And it was sponsored. So you had the money and you had all that stuff. So we got to get sponsors. We got to find a way where, say, the guy who's doing the videos down in the States, he wants to do like weekly matches and stuff like that. Like, we need to find a way where we put that on YouTube or we put that on something, but we get somebody to invest in it and we put their logos. So say like just an example, say we call Bezos and say, hey, Amazon, we'll have your picture of something on our sweeps and we'll have a camera down so you get a personal ad every 30 seconds where it's going to drop down, it's going to sweep, and it'll say Amazon on our sweep every time.
Yeah.
And this will be posted on YouTube every week. We need to find a way where we can get money so that people are interested and not having to spend an arm and a leg to do it.
Right.
So Rusty at Stars and Strikes is, he's still trying to get the YouTube show going through Stars and Strikes. And Brian and I had mentioned it. Brian, I think you're the one that brought it up, was from a sponsorship standpoint, getting someone like Oxford Casino to throw some money and sponsor. And which I thought Brian had a great idea. I'm like, damn, that's a really good idea.
My idea was the Oxford wheel. You usually have the 1-7-10 shot or whatever. Well, whoever wins the second match or whatever, at some point you have somebody spin the Oxford wheel. It's 1 through 10, and whatever, number you get, that's what you got to try and throw for, one ball. So if you get a 2, you got to try and punch a Worcester. So it's like a slot machine kind of thing. It makes sense with the casino thing, but it's a way to get them there, sponsorships.
Yeah.
Have different places sponsor different boxes. The 6 boxes brought to you by the...
the 6 box is brought to you by We're Shitty.
Well, no, the 6 box
the
of the string is brought.
Box.
Yeah,
not a 6 box.
That was funny.
Or a 7 box brought to you by Oxford Casino. You're lucky, whatever.
Yeah.
But Rusty had already approached them, and they said that unfortunately, the show, they weren't big enough.
Mm-hmm.
For them to sponsor.
That's what I mean. It's nobody's interested in Candlepin bowling anymore. So we need to make, even if we just started with the Worlds and had the Worlds sponsored by a certain thing every year, and we sponsored them and we got people interested.
Well, and that's used to be what Charlie did and what Ian Niven did. They had sponsors. So on the American side, when it was in Bangor, it was always Holiday Inn.
Yeah, so was it just hotels or whatever?
No,
wasn't it just the hotels we were staying at?
No, you had the Holiday Inn division because they sponsored it. They gave Charlie money to help sponsor, and they gave him a break on the rooms and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then you had one of the car dealerships. I can't remember now. Varney, maybe.
Yeah, it was Varney.
Yeah, and I know up in Canada, you had the Moosehead division.
Yeah.
And then
Moosehead's maybe a big
Ramada.
Yeah, and then Ramada when that was at Ramada, Ian got Ramada to sponsor. So
yeah, Ramada sponsors a lot in Fredericton. They sponsor a lot of the bowling stuff.
Yeah, and they did a lot in Halifax.
Because they know most of the bowlers are probably going to stay there.
Well, that's
where
they
something they own. Right.
Yeah, and that's where they stayed. That was, I don't know. You're right, Calvin. I do think that we need, you want to make bowling great again, and I don't, it bothers me when people say that bowling's a dying sport. It's only a dying sport if you allow it to die. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you in a sense, but the thing I'm finding is like my parent. I find that the parenting thing is a little different nowadays because back in when I was youth league, my parents were like, "Okay, you're gonna do this. You're gonna commit to it. You're doing it."
Yep.
And I was there every Saturday, and then I got to enjoy the love of bowling and everything. Where I find after I was done and I was kind of into coaching and stuff like that, parents were like, "Oh, you committed to this? Well, you don't have to go this week, or you don't want to go? It's okay. Just do." Like they're more, you do whatever you want instead of this is what you want. Okay, you're doing it.
I will agree with you, Calvin, because when I was a kid, I didn't have, you were doing this.
Yeah.
And you're doing it every week.
Right.
Now, they said, and I believed my mother, if we chose not to do something, that was fine. But you didn't quit halfway through. You finished out the season, and you didn't go back next year.
Right.
Same thing with baseball, basketball, whatever sport we were doing. You didn't quit halfway through. You didn't just not go. You finished out the season. So when I say bowling is a dying sport and it's up to us to make it not so, there's ways that we can do that. It's supporting your local bowling alley. It's bowling in a league. It's going down with a bunch of friends. It's supporting that type of atmosphere. For us, it's supporting tournaments.
Yes.
Okay.
But I guess the thing where I'm saying I'm disagreeing with you is the fact that the reason why it's it's a dying sport is that you guys have a good youth league up there. We have nothing. You know what I mean? So it's a dying sport in the fact that when we're done supporting the bowling alley, when we're done going out to a local tournament, when we're done doing this, it's done because there's nobody coming after us.
Correct. And that's on the proprietors, though. They have to put in a little work. And I'll say this way. So in this area where Brian and I live,
right,
there are quite a few elementary schools.
Right.
Yeah.
What's preventing Jason? And I'm not calling Jason out. I'm using him as the example because he's a local proprietor.
Or Sammy.
Or Sammy in
Paul up in
Waldoboro,
Belfast.
or Paul up in Belfast. What's preventing them from going to these schools and saying, "Hey, look, once a week, have a gym class here. We'll teach you the sport of bowling. Doesn't cost you anything, but let's get the kids in here." Or maybe it costs them, I don't know, maybe it's some nominal fee.
Right.
Okay. But do something. Yeah.
What's stopping them is probably like the school board or the principal who's like, "Don't bring."
Doesn't want to spend the money for busing. Doesn't want to spend the time for chaperones.
And look, I've Jason may have already done this. I don't know. I'm just saying. I remember as a kid learning how to candlepin bowl, and I remember going down. We didn't go down. We actually learned at the school. Like they brought pins and stuff into the gym and set them up in the gym and said, "This is how
high school leagues around here." When my dad was in school, he was saying, like they used to have like the local high schools had like a state tournament.
I've often wondered why, if we have golf teams and ski teams and basketball teams and baseball teams, we're in the Northeast. In Oklahoma, in Kansas, and things like that, they have
10-pin. Yeah.
They have 10-pin teams, high school.
Yeah.
They have leagues.
Yeah, I know that high schools do. Yeah.
So Why don't we have that?
And that's, you know what? And I'll actually lead back into that. The reason we don't have that is because we don't have sponsors. We don't have companies. So you got to think, like, if MLB didn't have, let's say, Nike sponsoring them,
Yep.
the owners and all that would not have the money to spend on these players. Therefore, they wouldn't have anybody to entertain us. Therefore, they wouldn't be a thing. So Candlepin Bowling does not have those people or does not have those companies that are willing to shell out money to tournaments or to anything else. And then, therefore, we can't get the people out. Therefore, there is nothing to watch. Therefore, there is no Candlepin Bowling.
But here's the thing, Calvin. In these 10-pin high school leagues, they don't have sponsorships for that.
Yeah, but they do, because the leagues are part of, like, the PBA. It's part of a thing. Like, it's
then that's on the ICBA to get their heads out of their ass,
which is also possibly true.
and do something like that.
Yeah.
And better yet, if you want to have the ICBA in Canada, then what's preventing that is sanctioning of these lanes, right?
Yes, essentially.
Okay?
And paying to have them all that.
And paying that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you want things to be the same, games change all the time.
Uh-huh.
Major League Baseball has changed rules. NFL has changed rules.
Yeah.
Hockey has changed rules.
Absolutely.
Basketball has changed rules.
Yeah.
So why isn't Candlepin Bowling looking at this? And PBA has changed rules. So why isn't Candlepin Bowling looking at? They have changed. They've tweaked rules.
Right. I wouldn't say they've changed much.
I don't want to say changed, but they've tweaked things. So why aren't we looking at this going, okay, people, the average person wants to come in and wants to bowl and wants to have a good time. Cool.
Yeah.
We can do that. The average person wants to come in and they go 10-pin bowling because, well, why do they go 10-pin bowling? Okay, they have a good time. The scores are higher. It's a little easier. Things like that.
Who doesn't like throwing a strike?
Fine.
So yeah.
Why don't we have? I personally don't think flat gutters make a huge bit of difference for a bowler like you, Calvin, me, Brian, or Brian. Maybe it adds a pin or two, maybe, to our average.
But it does for everybody.
It helps more for your lower average bowlers.
Right.
Okay. So fine. I'm okay with flat gutters.
Yeah.
If it means that we get everyone all the same, flatten the damn things out. I don't like tilted gutters.
Right.
Okay. I'm not a big fan of that because that does really skew the game. I'm fine with open bowling, tilting the gutters.
Yeah, lift up the gutters.
Lift up the gutters, have some fun. That's cool. League play, whatever. Go flat. I'm fine with it. Let's get people all on the same page.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. You definitely need to have that. The one thing I find though is that, and I'm on the same page, is that you need to have the high scores and stuff like that. But you'll never have a 10-year-old throwing a 300 in Candlepin.
No.
Right? You'll never have that because your ball and all the pins react differently. So maybe that's it, and maybe it's the fact that you cannot really get kids or people into it because they're not throwing big scores. Most of them I know, because most of my friends who don't, when they talk to me, they're like, "Oh, you're a professional bowler, and you do this like at big tournaments." I'm like, "Yeah," and they said, "Oh, well, what's your average?" Like, I had an 87 the other night, and I'm like, "Oh, well, that's how long have you been bowling?" "Oh, I'm just out with my friends." I said, "Well, that's good." And they're like, "Oh, what do you get?" I said, "About 130. Was when I'm bowling well is 130 every time." Holy smokes, so. I guess if we had that maybe more, I don't know.
I don't know. I think that's a great, because we are really kind of running out of time. So I think that, Calvin, I think that's a really cool subject.
Yeah.
For next week when we have a proprietor with us.
Oh.
When Marky's with us, and we can talk a little bit.
With us. Oh, okay.
Sure, yeah. So newsflash is we are trying, for people that are still listening, the 3 people that are still listening, we are trying to get Sean Baker on the show. We've got to come up with a time where we can all get together, and not necessarily get together, but actually meet and do this. Baker's got a great idea for a tournament that he would like to do, Ryder Cup style tournament, and I really want him on here to talk about it, as well as to talk about his career. He's had a long and very distinguished career with Candlepin bowling.
Yeah.
Arguably one of the top bowlers in the States for a long time. So we're working on that. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks we can nail down a time to get that done. Don't forget, folks.
4 weeks away.
4 weeks away.
4 weeks away.
4 weeks.
One
of us.
So that is coming up. For those that have not sent in their video, get your video or audio submission in for the roast of Tim Matero and anyone else you want to roast here.
Yes, we're open to everybody.
Yes,
you can roast us all.
Equal opportunity roasting.
Yeah,
the easiest way to get your video in is to use Google Dropbox. Step 1, make your damn video. Step 2, download it to Google Drive, which is free, F-R-E-E free. And step 3 is to share it to Marky Pins. That is MAHKYPINZ @gmail.com. That's how easy it is. That's it. That's
it.
It doesn't have to be long. 30 seconds, 10 seconds, just a quick roast. It doesn't matter. It's just
have fun with it. Understand again, there's a difference between shitting on someone and roasting someone. Okay?
Right.
When you roast someone, typically you're roasting them out of love, meaning you really like them, you enjoy them, or maybe you don't and you just want to roast us and have a good time with it. I don't care. We're all taking it for fun. This is all a big joke to us. We will have our opportunity to roast back. So I will be roasting Brian. I will be roasting Calvin. And,
we're starting already?
Calvin. And I will be roasting Marky. Because they're going to roast me. And we're going to laugh.
And if you do offend any one of us, the other 3 will come give you an awful waffle.
Yes.
I can't imagine one of us getting offended, but you never know. As usual, folks, get your questions, your comments, your concerns into rippingtherackpodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Instagram @rippingtherackpodcast. Brian, I had to do your job last week. So
did you screw it up?
Oh my God, I totally
bad.
Screwed it up. So which leads me to believe that you didn't even listen to the show last week. So thanks, buddy.
I was out in the middle of nowhere.
You had time today.
No, I didn't. No.
Brian, where else can they hear us?
Well, Tim, they can hear us on Spotify, iTunes, Anchor, Breaker, Google Podcasts, and wherever else you listen to your podcast mediums.
Folks, we appreciate it. As usual, you can hear us on Tuesday mornings. You can hear us on Friday mornings for the Friday edition of Ripping the Rack, which is basically us just being dumbasses about a lot of different things, but having fun doing it. And then you can hear Brian and Marky on Sunday evenings, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time on Johnny Death Drop, twitch.tv/Johnny Death Drop for the Dudes and Belts Wrestling Chatcast. With that, folks, have a great week. We appreciate it. We'll see you.